That was horrible. On a scale of 1 to Dracula,
Yep.
how you doing today?
How am I doing today?
Scale
I'm
of 1
doing
to Dracula.
doing like a Nosferatu
You're gonna say
today.
I
This is the
personally,
first I could think of.
I'm doing Bella today.
You're doing Bella? I was gonna say like Edward, probably.
I'm doing Lugosi. Let's go see what I'm talking about.
Lucy Lugosi. I'm feeling Lucy
I'm feeling
Lugosi today.
I think we made that same joke last episode.
I don't think we did.
Didn't we?
I don't think so. This is the first
not?
time. This is the first time my brain is recognizing this joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
am I wrong?
No.
Our streams crossed?
We're crossing streams right now.
Hey, Isaac, it's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
Good to be home.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome into the studio today. So much has happened in life
Oh,
and
my God.
all the biz. We've done, like, the last 2 episodes we've done have been with guests in the studio, which
and
is great.
very far apart.
Very far apart, yes, these
Like,
episodes with the guests.
We were in different states recording.
Yes, which means
No, we
that
weren't.
it's been even longer since the two of us have just sat across the table from each other.
Oh, my God.
And just recorded with the two of us, which is great, which I love our guest episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I love, thank you to everybody who has joined us for those and all of you who have listened to those.
Which-
But it's good to be here.
So, for perspective, today is October 18th. This episode will release the 28th. So it was
around Halloween time. Here's our spooky Halloween episode.
Halloween episode. But the last episode that was just me and you was in August.
Oh my goodness.
It's almost 2 months
so
since
long.
just me and you have touched over each other.
Goodness.
Talked.
No, touched over each
touched
other for the sake of this podcast.
And it means that I could very well be a dad at the point
by
in
the
which
time this
episode's
episode
coming
comes out. And that's kind of the point. Yeah, we've kind of we've been trying to cram a couple episodes as best we can before the baby comes. Because that's a thing that's happening in Derek's life that is wonderful and not terrifying at all.
Yeah.
But you know what's even more terrifying? Vampires.
Hey, good segue back in.
Draculas and
Very good.
succubus and creatures of the night. Welcome back to That Was Dracula, your finest source for all media containing, well, Dracula. I am your host, Patrick.
And I am your
It's like
host.
Patrick, but with a bat.
And I am your host, Bloodrick, which is like
Bloodrick.
Patrick, but with
But
blood.
with blood, it's Patrick and Bloodrick, and you are here with
Patrick
that.
and
That was
Bloodrick.
Dracula, here to discuss Bram Stoker's Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola.
well-
And guess what? He was in it. I saw him and I said, yep, that sure is a Dracula.
And guess what? I am also in it, and I have not actually seen this movie.
Uncredited in Bloodrick in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
All right. Well, anyway,
2003?
I am Derek, and this is the podcast in which we do horror movies. Right?
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
What is it?
Can I take a swing at it?
Maybe-
2003, it's from 1992, Isaac. You're a dummy.
Yeah, you stupid dumb
That's right,
idiot.
because it came out before the movie we're talking about, and the movie we're talking about today references that, which also has to do with Dracula.
You stupid dumb idiot.
But he's Derek, and I am also Isaac, and the two of us together get together every so often to talk
Maybe
about
like once a month.
on our little podcast we call That
Was
Horrible.
Oh, dang.
It is spooky. That's right. You got to stay spooky. It is our podcast where we do our best at reviewing
Review
the
the
worst
worst
in horror
in
media.
spooky.
It's spooky.
We do the worst is spooky.
And it's spooky time. It's time to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the Mr. Capital D Dracula.
I feel like I'm slowly degrading into, because I forced myself to do that intro wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like, check this out. Hi, I'm Derek. This is Isaac.
Yep.
We run That Was
That Was
Horrible,
Horrible.
podcast about doing the worst at making podcasts.
Doing the worst. Yeah.
But, like, I feel like I'm slowly getting worse and worse at,
At being bad at it. Yeah.
Like, it's so obvious that I'm screwing it up on purpose.
No, it's great. I love it. But
Anyway, so this week we decided, why not take a little Mel Brooks trip down the Brooks.
Little Mel
of
Brooks. We're going down the Brooks.
We-
to the babbling brooks of Melchior.
Melchior.
Melchior. Cool
The
name.
demon?
Yeah, the demon. That's
He's a
right.
demon.
I think so. Isn't that also a character in like
Ask
Spring
Google.
Awakening?
Melicor?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Spring Awakening. Don't
Melicor's
ask me, Derek.
demon.
There have been many iterations of Dracula put to film. Many. Even though the first one was a rip-off, Nosferatu, and it was complete 100% rip of the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
If you're wondering, Melicor is a demon from a video game called Tales of Berseria.
Oh, okay.
I'm really sorry. He's a demon. I failed you.
But so, Derek, there's a vast well of Dracula movies to pick from. What did we decide to talk about today?
The most famous.
The most famous.
Yeah,
you know him, you love him.
Everybody here is like, they watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, or they're like, maybe they're doing
Bram
another.
Stoker's Dracula is sitting at like 69 on Rotten Tomatoes. Actually lower than I thought.
Maybe they watched Nosferatu, the original, or maybe they watched the Nosferatu.
Yep.
Or maybe, just maybe, they watched Interview with a Vampire, Dracula edition.
Could have been good. They just barely released the second season of the new Interview with the Vampire series. That show kicks ass. If I may talk about good horror for a second, go watch that. If you love gay and vampires and gay vampires, you're going to have a wonderful time. Because I did.
Could I just list all of the Dracula movies?
How many are there?
So many.
I know there's a lot, but like I've never tried to put like a list together.
There is there's a lot. You got Monsters High, Electrified, Wolfsbane, About Adam, Monster Mash, Monster Family 2, In Search of Dracula, Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. What?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. Way of the Vampire, The Legend of the Seven Vampires, Count Dracula's Great Love, Blood for Dracula, Galibata.
Of course, love that one.
Satanic Rites of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, which apparently has Dracula in it, Dracula 3, House of Dracula, Dracula AD, Dracula Reborn, Dracula Tastes the Blood of Dracula, Another Person's Language, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, Scars of Dracula, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul of Dracula, Fright Night, Mad Monster Party, Dracula Pages from a Virgin, Dracula versus Frankenstein. Abbott and Costello meet Dracula. Wait.
Can we please go back for a second?
No, I gotta finish this.
Okay, but I'm not going to let go of this.
Please don't. Son of Dracula. Dracula 3D. Monster Family. Dracula 2012. Dracula Prince of Dracula.
Duckula.
God damn it. Dracula Prince of Darkness. Nosferatu. The Vampire. Blackula. Renfield. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Hotel Transylvania. Count Dracula. Dracula 2 Ascension. Hotel Transylvania 1 through 3. Dracula 2000. Dracula. Van Helsing. Hotel Transylvania. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Dracula Untold. And in 2025, Dracula, A True Love Tale.
Wow. Wait, that's coming out this year?
Already came out.
Dracula, A True Love Tale? Is it any good?
I don't know. It's probably bad.
A True Love
Somewhere.
Tale.
And now, I know you curious kittens. You're like, wow, Derek, that was a lot of you talking.
It was a lot of
This movie
movies.
has 75% on it.
75%, actually. It looks like it might actually be okay.
A lot of boobs.
How have I not heard about this? Oh, it's not. That's audience rating for it. Anyway, you told me about Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. And that really stuck with me.
I remember I said so many things.
I was like one of the first ones there. But I know nothing about this. It doesn't seem like it's that fantastic. The best part about it is you go on to Google and you search up that movie. The overview here says from the Google film, like the movie, like information that's on the side. It says Baron Frankenstein gives the staked vampire Count a blood transfusion in Spain, but then they disagree. That's the whole.
Okay.
The whole.
Can we please reenact this?
Yes.
I'll be Dracula. You be
Okay.
Frankenstein.
It is me, Baron Frankenstein, here to stake you, the vampire.
Wait, no.
What you? Huh?
I don't want it.
But I'm here to stake you. You
Okay,
know.
wait, do it in my
Well,
arm.
I guess technically I've just staked you.
Yeah, it's in my arm.
And you're dying, and I need to give you a blood transfusion. We're in Spain.
Wait, hold on. Lock eyes with me.
We're locking eyes.
You love me. You don't want me to die. Give me blood transfusion.
I have to give you blood. What is that?
Wait, no, we have
Can
to
they
disagree now.
No, I will not give you blood transfusion.
Oh, I thought we would disagree on like how to make pasta.
Because we're in Spain?
Yeah, I make pasta with water. You make pasta with blood. You fuck.
This is the dumbest overview for a movie I've ever seen. It's not even like an AI generated one either. It's just the one that comes up with the movie.
The director is
so
actually James
stupid.
Franco's dad, Jesus Franco.
Jesus Franco, exactly. Oh, it's in Spanish. That's fun.
All right,
they
well,
can disagree in Spanish.
Isaac, guess which movie we watched out of the list that I
Out
just
of
said.
the list today, gonna pull out of a hat. We were talking about Mel Brooks earlier. I'm gonna say we probably went with Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Dracula Dead and Loving It. Well,
It's good to be dead, isn't it, Derek?
It's good to be dead if you're this movie.
Which is a line that he says in the trailer and does
But
not
never
actually say in the
says
movie.
it in the movie.
You guys ever seen The Naked Gun?
Yes.
You guys ever seen Young Frankenstein?
Yeah, dude.
Think
Now,
about those two vibes and try
mash
to
them
marry them
together.
together.
I think it's great because I've recently been on a Leslie Nelson kick.
Yes,
If you don't know who
because-
Leslie Nelson is, he's such a good comedian.
Leslie Nielsen's hilarious.
But the thing that makes Leslie Nelson funny is that he's not funny.
Yes.
He's very serious. He's very, very straight. He's very sincere
and
in
that's
everything
the
he
thing.
says.
He plays it so straight that it comes across funny, and it's hilarious.
There is an interview with him on Conan
There's
O'Brien.
also an interview with a vampire.
Nice. There's an interview with Leslie Nielsen when he goes on Conan O'Brien. This was before Conan O'Brien was famous.
Yeah.
And
before he had the hair surgery and had this big old bouffant, back in the old days.
Is that fake hair?
I don't know. It
probably
feels
could
like
be.
it. It feels like it.
But Leslie Nielsen is just sitting there on the couch talking to Conan O'Brien, and Conan just doesn't realize who's on his couch. Like, he doesn't realize how amazing this man is. And Leslie Nielsen has a fart machine. He famously carried a fart machine with him everywhere he went.
Now, what's the size of
It's
a
a
fart machine?
It's a little circle, and he presses on it, and it makes a fart.
You imagine he's like at a bar, and a girl comes up to him. She's like, "Is that a fart machine in your pocket?" And
You were just happy to see me. No, I just had diarrhea. I don't know. But anyway, so like he's talking to Conan, and all of a sudden he like moves his leg and just rips a huge fart. And listen, I'm not a potty humor guy.
And so Conan has to awkwardly try to transition around.
But the best part about it is how straight Leslie Nielsen deals with it. He's just like,
I can absolutely see the straight look on his face, just trying to.
He just moves on
and just trying to like that was awkward. We're just gonna move past it. Like,
but then he just like keeps doing it throughout the interview, and Conan just doesn't know how to handle it.
I'm sure he would probably keep going until Conan is broken or comments on it. It's like, hey, are you okay? Do we need to pause something?
Anyway, Leslie Nielsen,
help you?
He started as like an action movie, like extra, or like in medical movies and stuff. And then the great minds over at the Naked Gun film, so I can't think of their names right now, so sorry. They pulled him in and were like, you will be perfect for this movie because we need a straight man.
Yeah.
It actually started with Police Squad, sorry.
Yeah.
And then those got turned into movies. But go see them.
Yeah.
And honestly, go see the new Liam Neeson version of
I was going to say, that's kind of
Naked
funny
Gun.
because it's a similar, because that's why you're on a Leslie Nielsen kick, right? Is because the new Naked Gun movie came out recently.
Yeah, and I realized, like, I consider myself a comedian, and I had never seen some of the highest praised
good comedy
movies of all time.
Good
so I
shit.
watched all the Naked Guns, and I loved every single one of them. Naked Gun 1 and 2 specifically are just
so good.
Oh my god, they're easily in like my top 10 comedies now.
But yeah, it's kind of funny that Leslie Nielsen also started as like kind of an action guy and then moved to comedian, because that's exactly what like Liam Neeson is doing.
And then Liam Neeson
is doing here.
Liam Neeson was the perfect choice to replace Leslie Nielsen because he tragically passed away. And so now we have a new Naked Gun franchise with Pamela Anderson and
I didn't
Liam Neeson.
see, but you saw. Said it was pretty good, right?
See it.
Yeah,
you have to see it.
I'll definitely
even if I have
check
to
that one
tie
out.
you down to the couch and force you to watch it.
Tell me it's a horror movie and I'll watch it.
Oh right,
that's the
like
unfortunate thing. I've gotten so deep into like loving and appreciating horror that like it's almost all I make time to watch.
Yeah, I watch 90% horror. If you look at my letterbox, it is significant, unless it's like a big movie that's coming out for like Oscars or something.
Yeah.
I tend
But
to
so
stray.
we've got wonderful star Leslie Nielsen. We've also got director Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Famous for movies like Young Frankenstein and Spaceballs and
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. History
Blazing
of the World
Saddles.
Part 2. Blazing Saddles.
I mean, Mel Brooks is an icon, right?
Yes,
So you have
truly.
two of the biggest names in comedy.
Yes.
And also you've got Harvey Korman. You remember Harvey Korman?
Where have
Isaac?
we seen him, Derek?
We saw him in The Goonies.
The Munchies.
That's what I meant.
You guys remember that wonderful movie that totally wasn't a ripoff of something like The Gremlins or something?
We watched that movie, what was like 40
There's
episodes
so many
ago
of those types
or
of movies
something?
about just like little creatures. But yeah, he was in it, and I hardly remember.
No,
I
me
do not
neither.
remember much about him.
But
his face was recognizable to me.
So Mel Brooks decided, what if I made a Dracula movie with Leslie Nielsen playing Dracula? Which on
Because-
paper
Yes.
is a fantastic idea.
Well, especially since Young Frankenstein was such a hit.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like he like knocked it out of the park doing that. So he was like, okay, let's take another classic Universal monster, do something like that. It does make me wonder if this movie had done well and was critically like appraised.
Yeah.
Would we have had more in the vein of that? Like, would Mel Brooks have taken a swing at like a Wolfman movie?
Oh my God. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, no, I would actually love that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine the kind of jokes that he would put in that. Probably like there'd be like a female werewolf, but like when she transformed, she was all covered in hair except for the boobs
Except for her
area.
boobs
Yeah,
would be
exactly.
popping out.
Probably lots of jokes like we made the last episode about like, furry hands when when
There'd be a lot
when you're
of-
sinning and stuff.
You're sitting.
Probably a lot of bits of like throwing like a chew toy and him going to chase it away.
Oh, the chew toy
Like-
bit would be very
'cause
prominent.
it's
like a
all
lot of
cheesy
like
comedy.
newspapers.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like his
Putting
main
down
enemy
newspapers.
would be the mailman.
Yeah,
Like really dumb stuff like that. That would
Exactly.
just actually work really well.
Probably a ridiculous transformation scene that would actually be pretty funny.
But
Like,
it would
I could
also
see that.
probably be practically
Yes,
impressive.
I was gonna say like probably something akin to like an American Werewolf in London. I almost said Paris
because it's the better movie.
Shut up. But an American Werewolf in London, I could feel them doing like homage to that, but then like really exaggerating it, like going to such extreme lengths where it's like, okay, now we're just being silly. Now we're just doing
dumb.
silly things.
Now we're just being
Don't
silly.
get me wrong.
I mean, it would be funny because I mean,
But I can see it.
I could totally see it like ending with someone pretending to pull out the moon and then swapping it for the sun.
Oh my God, there's absolutely a bit in there where someone goes, oh God, a full moon. And it's just someone with like their pants down and their asses out.
100%. 100%. 100%.
Oh God. But
All right, so Dracula Dead and Loving It. Yeah, it's not critically acclaimed. Rotten Tomatoes critics are only at 11% approval. The audience is at 49%. And I do think most of that comes from the love for Leslie Nielsen and Mel Brooks.
I do really feel like I think like that was a big pull towards the movie too.
Absolutely, yeah. Letterboxd is sitting at a 2.8. IMDb is at a 5.9. When these scores look this way, I feel like a doctor looking at a patient's chart. Like
looking over their stats,
you can kind of know exactly what you're getting into. This is why I like saying the 3 different review sites because Rotten Tomatoes can honestly be pretty misleading.
It's good to get lots of different opinions because they do tend to vary.
Right.
Honestly.
So Rotten Tomatoes, and where it's like if someone is a yes or a no, then that is all Rotten Tomatoes cares about, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 11% of people said yes.
Yes.
Right.
Working on like a binary like that is kind of tough because movies of any account are not like black and white like that.
And Letterboxd is only out of 5, and then IMDb is out of 10, which is why I do the 3 of these. I don't know why I'm dissecting
ranging
this right now.
scales.
But you can kind of get a good idea of what this movie is going to be like when you see Letterboxd is at 2.8. It's kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And then IMDb is just a little above the middle with 5.9.
Yep.
This movie had a $30 million budget, and here's the sad part.
Here's the kicker.
This movie only made $10 million.
Oh,
and
stake right to the heart, Derek, for Mel Brooks.
Nice. This is Mel Brooks' last directorial debut.
It sure was
film.
legitimately a stake to the heart for the man. He did not direct another, or at least has not up until this point, directed another movie.
He has written.
Yes.
He's written a couple things,
He's
but
written,
he has
for
not.
sure.
He has not directed.
But that is so sad. It also, I was looking into this. It actually also kind of killed like this genre of like kind of like mildly raunchy, like silly, cheesy parodies. Because like think about around this time, you also had like Hot Shots was a movie, Airplane was a thing, like the National Lampoon movies. It all ended with Dracula Dead and Loving It. This is like the last of these kinds of things.
I kind of get it.
Yes.
Because like watching this film, you feel it feels tired.
Yes.
The jokes feel repetitive. It all feels like just another repeat of Airplane,
a little bit
or
of
Hot Fuzz,
going through the motions, you know.
Yeah.
And definitely it feels like
Hot Shots. Sorry, Hot Fuzz is great.
And it feels kind of like dated in a sense where it's like this is something my dad would find funny, I think, and he does for sure.
This is the kind of movie my dad would watch
Yep.
and let me watch with him, but my mom would walk in during any of the boobs.
Yep, exactly.
There was no nudity in this film, but there was a lot
wasn't.
of
But
boobs.
Mel Brooks, my God, that man
Horny little tyke.
loves a pair of breasts, just showing them off.
Just big gazongas.
Big gongas. Mel Brooks. That's he. Mel Brooks love big gongas.
I love
That's
big
him.
gongas. If I was to be a Mel Brooks character, I'd be like, where's the boobs? Circumcision joke here.
Big gongas.
Big boobs here. We got it all.
It's me, Big Gonga. That's his character in the next Spaceballs movie. Are they making another one of those?
Yeah,
There's a new
it's
one
actually, I think it's done filming.
Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement for that, which I am so on board for.
It is definitely Mel Brooks' final film.
Yes.
Like ever.
For sure. He's old.
Yeah, he's like
a little
85.
old dude. And I bet he still loves Big Gongas.
he's
That's probably his
99
dying
years old.
words.
Big gongas. I really do love Mel Brooks.
I do love him. There's a charm to his movies.
This movie, if you look at the history of it, it's actually kind of good that this movie flopped because he made the turn over to Broadway. Because that's when he started doing
true,
The Producers and Young Frankenstein, which are, I mean, Emily's favorite musical is The Producers.
The Producers.
For good reason. It's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
So,
He's
anyway,
a funny guy.
He's
just a funny little guy loving big gongas.
He wants to embrace boobs as big as him.
Yeah,
and
that's true. The size of him.
You got to appreciate a man.
But what I also appreciate about him is like the level, like he does appreciate a good level of like craftsmanship in his movies.
Yeah.
There's always like a love for the art in them. Because I think he's always like maybe not all the time in this movie, but he's had a good sense of like balancing when to like respect a source material that he's mocking, and then also like when to take the piss out of it, you know, like when to kind of like you know, laugh at himself and the content as well. I think he's been really good at that.
I completely agree. I think Mel Brooks is honestly one of the greatest comedic minds,
iconic
of all time.
Truly, love the guy.
Like Robin Hood Men in Tights, for example, which only came out 2 years before this.
That's wild. Is like everyone's like he lost the sauce in those 2 years.
I think that's one of my most quoted movies. Yeah. Like, I split the arrow in twain. I say that all the time. Yep. And then, of course, we're men in tights. Basically, anytime I put on something tight, I sing that and do a little dance.
You always slipping into tight things, Derek?
Every day of my life. All right.
But we didn't mention Leslie Nielsen is Dracula in this one. I don't think we've said that. Okay, good. Yeah, so titular Dracula in this one. No, I don't. It all just comes in one ear, out the other.
You're just stating the fact. And it hurts.
You will forget that I don't listen to you.
You listen to every word I say.
That's right. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Big gazongas.
These are not the gongas you're looking for.
Anyway, all I have to say here is go watch Naked Gun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we're talking about.
Go check those out. Yeah, we're close. In a sense, we're adjacent to the Naked Gun movies here. Because none of the Naked Gun movies were done by Mel Brooks, right?
Oh, no.
So it's kind of like we've been talking, a merging of these two worlds. You've got the iconic Leslie Nielsen, the iconic director, Mel Brooks, coming together. It seems like it's a match made in heaven. I think that's actually what your wife Emily said, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, you would imagine, like, why did it take these two so long to even get together in this fashion?
No, the Naked Gun was David and Jerry Zucker, the Zucker brothers. They did the Airplane, and they also did some of the scary movies. And
that completely tracks.
And, you know, Basketball.
Because I think that was actually like the resurgence of like something of a parody nature was with the Scream or the scary movies.
Which they're also making another scary movie.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I've got some doubts about it. I feel like the scary movies worked in their time period. Yeah. And there's a lot of things about them that did not age well. So trying to take that format and put it in 2026 or whatever, I don't know if it's going to work so well.
That is one thing I will give credit for as far as Dracula Dead and Loving it goes, is I didn't feel uncomfortable with any of the jokes.
No.
I mean, all of the Gazanga stuff, like, I would have done away with it.
I think that's the only thing that's pretty heavy-handed in most of Mel Brooks movies is like the over-sexualization of pretty much every female character that is in it.
If there is a woman, she will be sexualized.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at the producers with Ula.
Yes.
The main girl. I mean, she sings an entire song about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
even with the main girl in Young Frankenstein,
the
first thing she rolls on top of him and just has her breasts in his face, you know? So like, that is a little bit like dated and not so good, but like it's not to an uncomfortable degree.
No.
Which is good.
Well, and opinion. I think the reason it's not to an uncomfortable degree is we're used to it.
That's fair.
We've watched a lot of these movies. I've seen Young Frankenstein hundreds of times, and like I grew up watching Mel Brooks. That was that was the thing. So it's like, okay, Mom, you hated so much of the shit that I watched, and you protected me from like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And yet I was watching Mel Brooks. I the first time I knew what a chastity belt.
Big Gongas.
Well, I learned about a chastity belt from Robin Hood Men in Tights when I was like 8, or not even like 5 years old.
That is true. I remember I've also seen, this is another kind of thing where parents feel like, oh, it's like a comedy, so it's okay for you to see this. But there are definitely some topics that are broached in these movies that I'm like, me as a kid is like, what is that? Well, and it makes me question it. What is a chastity belt?
Isn't that famous? I'm pretty sure it is Robin Hood Men in Tights when Mel Brooks plays the character who makes the joke about circumcisions, because he talks about keeping the tips. That is in Robin Hood Men in Tights, right?
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I questioned that.
What is that?
I was like, what's the moil? What's he cutting the tip off? And then like I'm older and I'm like, oh, I get it.
Like, oh shit, I get it now.
I get that joke.
Mom, you were cool with me watching this?
But I think, I mean, not to delve into it because it really doesn't matter. But I think that the reason in that generation, at least in when I grew up, these movies were more okay than like something like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because these were all joking on like classic liture.
Yeah,
it was all riffs on classic literature.
That's true.
So it was like, here's this classic literature comedy. But then you look at something like Family Guy or The Simpsons, which is just like farcical, gross,
topical
current events
Yeah.
that are also dealing with religion.
Yep.
And these movies tended to not really go
No.
the religious route, which I think my mom genuinely would care more about me learning negative things about religion than sex. So
Yeah, I would rather you watch this thing about the moil and the cutting off the tips and stuff rather than watching Krusty the Clown get crucified.
yes, I think my mom would rather me watch Porky's than watch here more. This is more relevant.
Yeah.
My mom would rather me watch American Pie than Heretic.
Yeah. No,
You get it.
completely valid.
All right, we've come full circle.
We've come full circle, but Dracula Dead and Loving
It was written by Mel Brooks, but it was also written by Steve Haberman and Ruby DeLuca, and those are the only two.
Yep.
Rudy DeLuca and Steve Haberman also helped him work on this. They were kind of just like the other writers for Mel Brooks. Like if you look through their works, they've just done stuff with Mel Brooks for a long
It is
time.
a common thing. I feel like that doesn't get enough credit a lot of the time, where there's a lot of directors who are well known and renowned and stuff. Is we don't talk about they usually have a consistent team of people also helping them on things,
Yeah.
be it writers or cinematographers too. That's a big thing. Wes Anderson gets a lot of praise, right? But
Yeah.
it's his movies look so great, but they can't look so great unless he has a really great cinematographer he does, right? So it takes a village to build a movie.
It takes a village to build a village.
It takes a village.
And that's pretty much all the information I had. I think, we can go ahead and move on.
Let's dive in. Let's swoop into our expectations.
Let's
No. Let's talk about the reviews. Of course.
Let's turn into a bat and fly into
flap,
a window.
flap away. So there is no audience consensus on the Rotten Tomatoes, but there is a critics consensus, which says, lacking any of the comedic bite that audiences have come to expect from a Mel Brooks farce, this vampire parody just plain old sucks. And that's what the critics say, and that's how I feel like they sound.
Will you read a review? I have to enable ads.
So you're here too now. Adblock is really Rotten Tomatoes fighting back against Adblock. A negative review here, a rotten review from Mike Massey from Gone with the Twins, says, though it brims with recognizable Brooks film regulars and his signature lively genre send-ups, his shtick runs a bit dry with this latest production.
This one's brutal.
Yikes.
David Kroenke of the Los Angeles Times with a 1 out of 5 says, not to venture forth some sort of radical idea, but aren't comedies supposed to have jokes?
See, that's where I'm there's a lot of harsh criticisms about
I laughed
this movie.
a lot during
Yeah,
the
I had a lot of moments. One of the few fresh reviews for this movie from Felix Vasquez Jr. of Cinema Crazed says, a very above par and often funny satire of a horror classic.
Yeah. Didn't
really get too deep into it, but he's not that's an opinion. And then you?
Susan Willis.
My favorite children's book author.
I'm going to give that another take.
One more
From
clean.
USA Today, a top critic, Susan Wolonskinya.
I need to see what this fucking
Susan,
name is that you're looking
Just keep
at.
scrolling, you'll find it. If any
Let's
movie
see.
proves that Mel Brooks' genius for skewering creaky genres has evaporated, it's this anemic attempt to draw new blood from low-flying vampire hijinks.
Wow, yeah, Derek's right. This name is crazy.
Yeah, you say it, bitch.
It's Woloszyna.
I told you.
It's WLOSZCZYNA.
Hey, Susan, if you're listening to this, change your name.
Maybe it's time. Maybe
But also, good on you for keeping that name.
You know what? It takes a strong woman to change her name. It takes a stronger woman to keep it.
She could be president of the world.
To stare in the face. I feel like this woman is a Dracula. I feel like if any of these reviewers on this list right here were to be a Dracula, I would guess Susan Woloszyna.
Susan Woloszyna.
Susan Woloszyna.
Okay, we're done. This is terrible.
I cannot even try to form the thought of this movie.
All right, let's pop the movie into our DVD player and hit play.
Pop it in there. Put the CD in there. CD's nuts.
So I need to give the people something. So our friend Seth, who's a very dear close friend of ours. If you're listening right now, because you probably heard your name and you're like, I gotta listen to this episode.
He sensed a disturbance in the force.
This is his favorite joke. So I love the hardly know her jokes. Isaac likes the hardly know.
Those are
joke.
good. Those are good.
But our buddy Seth says the CD's nuts kind of jokes all the
or
time.
Or like imagine dragging these nuts.
Or dunking these nuts all over my balls.
Yeah, exactly. Those are some good ones. I have to say, 9 times out of 10, I hate a D's nuts joke. But sometimes if they can
just barely,
if they can just come up so out of nowhere. The opportunity presents itself. It's not funny, but the situation is funny to me.
I was
say
just
the
about
dumbest
to.
shit.
I was literally just about to say that those jokes always make me groan, and you also are known to groan at
Yes,
these jokes.
that's the
But
thing.
you're dying of laughter right now.
It was a good time,
Which was great.
It was great. So our expectations for this, Derek, generally, what are we expecting from Dracula?
I thought
Dead
I'd laugh a
Loving
lot.
It? Yep.
I thought I would have a great time. I thought I'd cry, laugh a lot. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we're both coming at this from fans of Leslie Nielsen and Mel Brooks and their projects, right?
Sure.
So I was in the same boat where I was actually like there are some times when you approach a movie that we watch for this podcast, we're like, here we go, back in the mines, got to go into the horror mines.
You have to actually make a space for you that's not comfortable so that you don't fall asleep during the movie.
Truly.
Yeah.
But so I was in the exact opposite mindset this
me
time
too.
where I was like, the critics are wrong. I'm going to have a good time.
a great time.
And I'm going to enjoy this very much.
Yeah.
So that goes into my very first formal expectation was the critics are wrong. I think was 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think it is worth. I think
Way
it's worth
too low.
much more than that. I was like, it's probably not going to be a stellar movie, probably not one of Mel Brooks' best, but I think we're definitely going to be like, no, critics, you're wrong. Shut up.
I mean, it doesn't matter how bad your movie is. It's Mel Brooks and Leslie Nielsen. That alone makes it 50%.
It sells.
in my
it
mind.
sells pretty much all of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first expectation is very Mel Brooks, and I
Yeah.
put in parentheses positive because it's like
you can see that in a negative.
you
light.
could definitely see that in negative light. But I was expecting that. I was like, I want all of the stupid, raunchy jokes, the blue jokes, as we've come to learn.
Yes,
that,
because you learned a new term, blue comedy, right?
Yeah, everyone credits. It's funny on Mel Brooks' Wikipedia page. He's credited for blue comedy, clean comedy, observational comedy, sexual comedy, musical comedy, satire, wit, and wordplay.
Got it all. He's got it all.
It does fit. Blue comedy, though, if you don't know, it's like the genre of entertainment that ranges from bordering on indelicacy to indecency.
Yep.
So it's usually just like irreverent talk and behavior.
Yeah, exactly. Which is funny because there is a term there have been a few times where there's either been a joke I'm about to make or don't want to make on the podcast. I'm like, oh, it's a bit blue, right? That's too blue.
And
for
I've
our
used that
podcast.
term as well.
Exactly. So yeah, take that and then just put it in comedy sense. It's a blue comedy rather than like a black comedy or something,
Blomedy.
right? A blomedy, a bloomedy.
Yeah.
I said it was going to have wonderful, corny Halloween vibes. I was like, this one's going to be a good one to get me in the trick or treat, spooky Halloween mindset, just based on the way the sets look, the costume. It looked like it was going to be a very stereotypical vampire kind of vibe, which I'm into. I say that as a positive thing.
Next for me is too much trying to have Leslie Nielsen be funny when he's just funny on his own.
Yeah.
Towards the end of Leslie Nielsen's career, he was in a few movies that they were writing jokes for him and having him be funny when the thing that made him funny was existing inside of a world that was crazy.
I do think that it is something that actually works to the deficit of the two of these two teaming up, Mel Brooks and Leslie Nielsen, is because up until this point he hasn't been written by Mel Brooks, and I feel like those writers for the Naked Gun movies and stuff understood the way to make him shine as his comedian without making him funny.
They understood the sincerity of Leslie Nielsen as a character, right? That's what makes him funny.
Yes.
There's a scene in Naked Gun that's a perfect example of this. There's a moment where he doesn't put his parking brake on his car, and it rolls down the street and starts crashing into people, and he starts chasing after his car and shooting at it with a gun and yelling, "Somebody stole my car! Somebody stop that car! Somebody stop that thief!" And then he's like, "Did anybody get the license plate?" That's fucking hilarious because it's a joke.
Yeah.
And he was just being a cop.
Yeah, and even to get ahead of it here in the movie, there's a bit where a la a Nosferatu, he rises out of his coffin, and then as he's rising out of his coffin, hits his head on a chandelier above him, and that's trying to make him funny.
Yeah,
and that's it's like the difference between the early seasons of SpongeBob, the way they wrote Patrick.
Yeah,
he was
that's a great way to put it.
He was stupid in a smart way.
Yeah,
he wasn't just completely a buffoon that was just an idiot the whole time, which I feel later seasons of SpongeBob got, he wasn't as funny. Early Patrick is hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's
I love
very
that.
very good. That's a great way to
the level of sincerity is so good.
Yeah, he commits to every joke, and I would argue that Leslie Nielsen lost it a little bit, and we'll get into this a little bit more. But even just not talking about this movie in particular, but in some of his later works, even Naked Gun 3, I feel like he started playing into the joke. He started thinking, I have to be funny.
Yep.
The Fart Machine is a great example of this. He thought he had to be funny. He's like, I'm going to be hilarious, so I'm going to keep a fart machine with you.
Prop comic now.
Now that being said, he is a master of comedy, and he really did play into the sincerity of it so well that it worked. Anyway, to go back to my expectation, I really feel like I felt like this movie was going to push him too much.
Yep.
It was going to be like, hey, Mr. Funny Man, here's this character, be a goof.
Mr. Comedian, gee, it's so nice to see you, Mr. Leslie Nielsen. Can you tell me a joke real quick? Come on, say something really funny, Leslie Nielsen.
Hold on.
You're the comedian. I love you so much. You tell me good jokes. Mister, you just shit your pants.
I became an alcoholic when she left me.
Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thanks anyway.
Is that funny?
No, stop, please.
Laugh at me. That is the alternate. That's the bad timeline
Yeah,
where
that's the bad
Leslie Nielsen
timeline.
became not
A
funny.
farting alcoholic. So it's in a similar vein to Derek's prediction. There is expectation. My next one was probably too silly, and I felt like that was something that was going to be to its deficit. Was like
Same.
There's a good balance. I think Young Frankenstein is a really good balance of like when to be like very farcical and silly, but also like when to be like legitimate about it, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like while I think Young Frankenstein is a great comedy, I think it's also just a good movie, even beyond the comedy that is within it, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I thought maybe it's going to be a little too on the silly side for this one.
Yeah. I realize now that my next expectation is the same as my second expectation, which is a forced amount of comedy.
Yeah, that tracks.
I didn't really mean them to be the same, but they're basically the same.
Yeah. My next one just said that Leslie Nielsen will be the best part of it. I felt especially since almost all of the marketing is just him, they don't really have to they don't showcase anybody else really. Which there's some returning characters in it. Like there's the girl playing Mina Harker was Maid Marian in Robin Hood Men in Tights, right?
Madam Librarian.
And then the
That's
young
from Music Man.
the young fella who plays Renfield, Peter McNichol. I can't remember the name of his character, but he was in Ghostbusters 2.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't.
Wasn't there some guy from Wizards of Waverly Place in this?
Oh yeah, the main dad in Wizards of Waverly Place is like a patient in Van Helsing's school for a moment, and he passes out, and you never see him again.
Cool.
Very, very cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, so I said Leslie Nielsen will probably be the best part of this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely no fear.
Oh yeah.
Easy
pull.
Expectation. I mean, I don't know. It was also like the 90s.
Yeah.
And things were weird in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Done, period. My next one just said horny when it doesn't need to be, because I could easily see you got a lot of women in these period dresses with their just a lot of boob on display, and sometimes Mel Brooks movies come out that way, and so that's kind of what I was expecting, especially since vampires inherently are sexual and horny. So I'm like, if you just lean into that a little bit, because I feel like even Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman in it was also very like, ooh, this is I'm uncomfortable watching this with my parents in the room and nobody's even naked yet.
Yet. If any creature design at all in this movie, it's all going to be used for comedic effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So is that it? Is it time to sink our fangs into Dracula Dead and Loving It?
Nice one.
Thank you.
I think it's time to flap.
Flap, 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 flap.
That's all.
the sound of Dracula's son behind a locked door. Flap, 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 flap.
Instead of fat. Is that what you're going with that one? I don't know why I'm not laughing today. That was good. That was funny. I think I'm just...
You're numb to
I'm
it all.
numb. I think I'm numb. This movie took away my comedy.
It's because I wasn't sincere about it,
Yeah,
I was
will you say it
trying
again?
to force it
Will you
being
say it
funny.
again? Will you say it again?
No, it's not.
Please?
It does not.
Here, let
bear
me try
repeating.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
there's the boy again. Wait, no, I fucked it up.
Son of me. I didn't give you a name. You are son of Dracula. What is going on in there? I'm getting Igor. He's gonna stop this.
No, go away, Dad.
Don't come in.
Don't come in. Why did we both go to like gremlin voice?
That's what Son of Dracula sounds like, obviously. There are no sons of Draculas in this, but there is just a big
There are
old...
just no sons of Dracula because he got no cum. All right, let's...
Come on, Derek. Let's talk about
Nice.
Dracula Dead and Loving It. So to start out, I really do appreciate... Right out the gate, there is an attempt to make it feel like a traditional Dracula vibe.
Yeah, it really did.
starts out with basically yellowing pages of illustration about like different vampires and you know, like sinking their fangs into people, transforming into bats and stuff, like the typical vampire stuff. If you had shown me this opening sequence and told me nothing else about the movie, didn't tell me it was a comedy, I didn't know who Mel Brooks was at all, like I would assume we were watching like a straight up and down just like vampire movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it is not, at least like right at the start in this opening intro sequence, has no comedy whatsoever. They play it completely straight, and I kind of enjoy that.
Yeah, there's really no gay in this movie at all.
No, not any gay at all. Which, you know, I feel like it could have been. You know, I really feel like there's a little bit of tension between Renfield and his master Dracula.
But it does
really dive into.
I would love to see. I mean, Dracula is just. I feel like he's just homogenous when it comes to sexuality.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
He fuck anybody.
Anything and everything
If
goes.
you've seen any of the Interview with the Vampire content, you know that.
Sure do.
But it starts out with Renfield going to Transylvania to finalize Dracula's purchase of the Abbey.
Yeah, I mean, we
It's
can like
the exact same.
We could so simply just tell you, you know, the story of Dracula that happens, and it's funny at the same time. Thank you. Stay spooky.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Because it is that simple. Like, and I remember when we were reading, like when we were talking about this in earlier episodes, we read the synopsis for it. I'm like, oh, so it's just
Dracula.
The story of Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Which, okay. I like that.
Okay.
I
No, I do.
Don't get me wrong. I do like that. I do also think if I were Mel Brooks,
Yes.
making a movie in which Dracula is just living everyday life with Leslie Nielsen as him and like not really having much of a plot would have been
Would have
fucking
sold
so
well.
much
Also,
better.
it would have hit the title a little bit more because the
Yeah.
title is Dracula Dead and Loving
Loving
It.
It.
There is never a moment in this movie where I feel like Dracula's living his best life.
No, I feel like
he's
he
having
hate-
such a good
I
time.
don't know. I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel like Leslie Nielsen was just kind of floating through this movie.
He was kind of going
I feel like
through
he
the
was just phoning
motions
it in.
as Dracula in this movie. He kind of got there, read the lines. Derek, how was his Dracula voice?
He didn't have one.
No.
He really didn't.
He could not stick with it,
It's me, Dracula.
and it felt kind of half-assed. If I'm being honest,
It
like I
really did. I was
didn't
actually
feel
kind
like
of disappointed.
He cared that much.
No, it really does feel like he got a paycheck. He was like, this isn't going to be very good. I'm
Yeah.
just going to go with it. And I mean, some of the bits were really funny.
Yeah.
So, like, when Renfield, I mean, I don't even know how we could even talk about this story. It's Dracula.
It's Dracula. So yes, I don't know. Maybe there's some of you out there who know nothing about
That's
the
true.
story of Dracula.
I shouldn't assume that.
So Renfield sells.
He's a lawyer.
He's selling real estate, right? So he goes out to Transylvania and he greets a little town. First of all, we got to talk about this town that he goes through.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, so he's on a horse-drawn carriage, and it's like right out of the gate with him and everything that's happening now. It's very farcical. Like they're in this carriage, and it's just like the bumpiest road you've ever
Yeah.
seen. They're just being thrown all about the carriage.
So stupid.
It's just it's the kind of humor that like makes you roll your eyes, but it is endearing at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly felt like the forced comedy started here, though.
Yes.
Specifically when he gets to the town, he
Yes.
starts talking to people, and all of the people are really weird. And we
Yes.
get like specific characters, like this one woman who every time she talks, she grabs her throat and goes,
because she's like the town witch basically or something. Like they're
So she's trying to be spooky.
fortune teller type.
And this would have been, I don't know, man. It felt forced to
Yes.
me. I don't know how
this
you felt
town
too.
specifically felt very forced. And I feel like that's something that is super strange about Mel Brooks movies because I later on in the movie I started writing a note about this. Then I was like, no, that's not actually entirely true. Because I wrote, I think what makes Mel Brooks movies work is that most everyone plays it straight. But then I was like, no. It's like almost a 50-50 split
Yeah.
where there are some actors who are playing it like this is their real life, it is sincerity, and that makes it really funny. But then there are also characters even in the same scene with them that are like complete 100% caricatures turned up to 11.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. And I feel like that's what this town was like.
And I do feel like this movie more than others because
Yes.
it works really, really well in some of Mel Brooks movies where like one or two characters are the split arrow in twain moment.
Yes.
In Robin Hood Men in Tights is perfect example of this,
Yep.
where everyone's just kind of normal, and then you have the crowd that are
Yes.
crazy. That's great.
Yeah, love
because
that.
then you have like these characters who are the caricatures,
Yes.
right? And then you also have the characters who are playing it straight.
Yes.
That's great.
But
this
I feel like you need a
movie-
balance of it to like keep it
Yes.
rooted a little bit more,
This
right?
movie didn't have that balance.
But yeah, like because what I thought, right at the top was not super fond of Renfield. As it progressed, I actually really, really loved
He was a goofy,
Renfield. Yeah.
goofy little bitch.
Yeah,
that's how to describe him.
McNichol did a great job here, Peter McNichol. But I feel like he plays it really straight and like he sells it so sincerely. This whole town at the top is very much like archetypes of like town with pitchforks, the Romani population, and they're like vampire scary.
Vampire.
It's all very silly like that. What I wanted to mention, like mostly about this town, was the fact that it's all practical sets and they look so good. There's this gorgeous painted backdrop of like a sunset behind them.
Yeah.
It is to die for.
That was amazing. That was gorgeous. And I wish, I don't know, movies nowadays have lost that charm.
No,
everyone wants realism now.
What I also really feel like lends itself to, like, all of Mel Brooks' movies, especially this one, is that it makes sense that he went to do Broadway shows because he comes at it like a playwright. Like the way his sets feel and move and the characters act is almost as if it's on a stage.
Yeah.
Like I could really well see this. Like the setting of the little town right in front of Castle Dracula felt like that. I felt like it was like a beautifully well done set with a lot of attention to detail and love for that kind of stuff. But it's really, really good. But so like to simply put the story of Dracula, Renfield is here. He's come out all this way to help finish out the paperwork for Dracula to own an establishment, to own land out in London.
Yep.
Yeah, in London. Yeah. And so he's selling him this house, which is right where he lives with his fiance.
Wait.
I forget where Renfield fits in with this because there's also like the original stories about Jonathan Harker, isn't it?
Yes.
He's the one who goes and does this. I don't know exactly where Renfield comes into the picture as a character.
He's just the solicitor selling. That's literally all he is. I think we're mixing it up with Nosferatu.
I guess
because Nosferatu is so close that it's hard to tell. So we'll just talk about what's happening in this.
Because I'm like, maybe I'm an idiot, and it's been a minute since I've read Dracula, but I want to say Renfield is not a character in it. Everything that is done by him is done by Jonathan Harker.
Oh.
Because I think that's right.
I can't remember. I read Dracula years
because
ago.
I know that Renfield is a character in the Dracula movie, which is based off of a play version of Dracula. So, yeah, now I'm curious, when the hell does Renfield actually become a part of the picture? Because he's an iconic character in the original movies, because he basically, what happens here in the movie, as Derek Googles this, is he comes here, helps finalize the paperwork for Dracula to purchase land in an estate out in London, and then Dracula turns him into basically his mind slave. He, like, torments his mind, and he becomes his servant of all time, and then he loses his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Played by Dwight Fry in the original, which is a wonderful,
Fantastic.
like, portrayal of the character.
So in the original Bram Stoker's Dracula, Renfield is actually a patient in the asylum.
That's right. So he doesn't do anything to do with the land selling. He's the crazed patient.
Crazy.
That's where he comes
and
through.
then Dracula goes into the asylum and takes him.
Yep,
under
that's
his
right.
Which does actually kind of happen in this movie.
Yeah, it just kind of goes through different means. And that's kind of what happened to the story of Dracula, right? It kind of becomes Renfield instead of Jonathan Harker. But anyway, so Renfield goes crazy, and now he's like, my master. He's like basically the original Igor type character. Yeah. Who like would do anything, would die for his master Dracula.
So something fun does happen when Renfield shows up to the house, though, and
we laughed out loud.
This is one of the best bits in the movie. Is Dracula starts going up the stairs,
going down the
stairs. There's stairs involved, and his shadow starts acting different from him.
Yes, because we have established like a little bit earlier that like he moves and his shadow kind of moves independent of him and does spooky things, right? It makes him look more vampire-like, which I thought was a neat effect. But then they make it funny, which I loved. I love that they established it as like, ooh, that's a cool thing, and then completely spoofed it and it was funny again.
Yeah, I mean, they bring it back a couple times.
Not as much as I wanted them to.
Super love the way that they brought it back
later. No,
but
you're right.
It did get brought back. This is a great example of a joke wasted.
Yep.
Because the shadow bit could have at least been used one or two more times.
I think so too.
And then it never was.
The rule of threes, I feel like we could have done with like maybe one more of those.
We got two.
But then after like the second instance, I was like, I don't know if I like this bit anymore.
No, well, yeah.
But so what happens when he comes into Castle Dracula, meets him for the first time? Yeah. There's like also the set for Castle Dracula.
Looks great.
Yeah,
looks fantastic.
Awesome. Got giant cobwebs all over the place. Like basically any set from here on out, I really, really, really enjoyed. It was like honestly like the highlight of the movie for me was the sets and like the costumes too. I thought they were really, really cool. But so Dracula meets Renfield. He's at the top of his stairs. He comes down the stairs and then falls.
Yeah, he falls.
Topples all the way down the stairs.
Which is the most Leslie Nelson thing.
It is so
that slapstick
silly.
Humor.
Exactly. But then they commune for a second. He takes him upstairs to another room. There's a funny bit where like Dracula passes through a spider web, and then Renfield tries to walk through it and completely gets covered in the whole thing, which I don't know where that comes from. I've never known any Dracula media that's like, and he can also walk through webs.
Specifically spider webs.
Specifically spider silk.
Did you know Dracula can walk through spider silk?
Dracula, the friend of the spiders.
The spiders let him through.
Any friend of spiders is a friend of Dracula.
him and what's the, dang it, I was trying to say the spider from Lord of the Rings, but I forgot. It's Shelob.
Shelob.
Him and Shelob are the best friends. I almost said Werner Herzog.
Known
Dracula
spider
and Werner
documentary.
Herzog.
Yeah, it is me. I spin a web for you.
Ooh, are you ready to learn about Dracula? All right, this is stupid.
But so Dracula falls down the staircase. It's like it's a silly, funny bit, right? Then like it actually sits on that for a second, and then when they finally go back up the staircase, you see Dracula's shadow then follow him.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And he's like holding his back after falling and plummeting down the stairs. It's just like it's one of those moments where like
It was brief, but it was great.
but they left it in the past enough. Like when he fell down the staircase, there's a decent amount of time before he goes back up the stairs and this happens.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy that, like, oh, I forgot he fell down the stairs, but clearly the shadow did.
shadow.
It was just like a funny little bit. It was like, oh, fuck my life. God, my stupid, my controller, I guess, falling down staircases. It was funny. It was good.
funny.
I enjoyed that. But yeah, so to simply put it, the paperwork goes through. Renfield becomes his crazed assistant now, and then they travel via boat via the Demeter, the coolest name for a boat.
Yeah.
They travel on the last voyage to London.
There is obviously some cut content from this, and I don't know if the trivia has anything about it, because we watched a trailer for this movie, and then we watched some behind the scenes, and there was like more scenes of him killing on the Demeter.
Yeah.
But all we get on this boat is so disappointing, because everybody knows the last voyage of the Demeter. I mean, it's made into its own movie. It's a ship. Everybody dies on the ship.
Yep.
But in this movie,
There's a Dracula on the boat.
all we get in this movie is a coffin slipping back and forth inside of a room.
Yeah, it's got
and
that
Renfield's
cheesy. There's just a big empty storage space within the cargo unit of the ship, and Dracula's coffin is just fucking flying back and forth between it as the ship rocks and careens.
That would have been funny like twice.
But it happened a lot.
It's like 10 minutes.
It's a long sequence of this.
And Renfield like holds onto it and gets flinged left and right, and then they finally open it, and it's like,
they're really big on like the physical comedy, but like too much sometimes. It's a bit much.
it was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
I would have much rather a sequence.
Yeah.
And I'm not Mel Brooks. I'm not as funny as Mel Brooks. I never will be. But I would have much rather a sequence where he gets out of the coffin and then it's like a funny kills.
Yeah.
Like, what about a sequence of him like walking
ridiculous
around
kills.
like killing people and like maybe accidentally? Maybe he's like maybe he's just trying to not actually kill them.
That would be funny.
What if
I
it's
would like that.
What if we find out that Demeter is actually Dracula accidentally killing everybody?
We know the last voyage of the Demeter as a situation where, like, you know, this whole crew of people on the ship like brutally murdered and disappeared. The only lone survivor was this crazed man Renfield, and we put him in an asylum. But what if actually what happened is like it wasn't brutal at all?
It was a complete accident. Like,
which he would have killed them all.
Absolutely.
But they all kind of just accidentally died.
yeah, like I would have loved a scene where like he walks
Or
out,
Tucker and Dale versus
and he's
Evil
like
kind of shit.
He's like asking where like the bathroom is or something.
Yeah.
And then the guy gets scared and like impales himself, and then he like starts spewing blood, and Dracula's like freaking out, trying to close the wound, and then just drinks it anyway. Because it's right there. And then
I can easily see like several instances of like someone just accidentally flying over the side of the ship or something. Like he ducks while someone's coming at him, and then they fly over. It's like, oh well, job done.
Job done.
I also love the fact that like this is also something that like got me a little bit in the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, but it's like Dracula is so obviously like some kind of evil dude in some sense. Nobody else dresses like he does as a vampire. He screams spooky, could be a vampire kind of guy, and nobody thinks anything of him. There are several instances of like, we think it might be a vampire, and Dracula's like, yeah, that's weird. I hope you find the guy. We're all looking for the guy who did this, you know?
Yeah, it's very Tim Robinson.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that does happen a lot in this movie specifically.
Yes.
Where he's like so out of place.
Yes.
And no one like even
He does not fit in with everybody else.
It's even later on in the movie when they start suspecting Dracula, they're like, what if it's Dracula? And one guy's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Like
Sure.
that's kind of funny.
Easy enough, yeah. Which is, I
bit's
think
kind
it
of
is funny
funny
how easily they flip to that. But so basically, we're at this point now. Dracula has made it to London now, right?
And Renfield gets arrested.
Renfield gets arrested because this whole ship has been killed, and he's the only survivor. He's
He's eating bugs,
crazed and raving about eating bugs, and his master Dracula, and blah blah blah. So they bring him to an insane asylum.
That's a bloody masturbation, Master Dracula.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, Derek is leaving the room. He's trying to go into a separate.
Let me out!
Can you just one more time for the audiences? I didn't even catch that one.
Did you not hear my joke?
No. Bloody Dracula? Is that what you said?
I said that's bloody masturbation, Master Dracula. It's not funny, Isaac. No.
But sometimes the not funny ones are funnier.
That's why I wanted to
because of that.
leave. It was a bad joke.
So Dracula is a good Samaritan. He's a kindly neighbor. And he's like, oh, I just bought this new house. I have new neighbors now. I've got Mina Harker and her soon-to-be husband, Jonathan. And there's also Lucy as well, Lucy Westenra. They're my new neighbors. For some reason, he knows they're out at the opera that night, and he goes to visit them and kind of introduce himself. And immediately is like, Lucy is smitten with him. She's like, ooh, this alluring man. Ooh, look at my bosom.
Actually, we did get a really funny bit. I feel like we need to talk about the really funny bit.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I actually really like this bit. He meets a stewardess and he mind controls her and he tells her to go in and get Harker to come out or Seward to come outside.
No, I think it's Harker.
One of them.
Yeah.
And he asks him to go. And then at the end of that, he's like, forget everything you saw here.
Yes.
And then she forgets everything.
So she goes and opens the curtain to talk to them to tell him the message from Dracula and then just sits there.
Completely mind blank.
Dumbfounded for like 10 seconds and then just closes it again because she fucking forgot everything.
It's so funny.
That is like a recurring funny bit of Leslie Nielsen as Dracula. He is so fucking bad at like the mind control. Because there are a few moments where he does that and he just like the logistics of it are a little complicated. So like, yes, he gives her these instructions and then immediately says, forget everything I told you. And so he fucked it up. She forgets it. It's like, it's funny. I like it a lot.
That bit's great.
But so in the original Dracula story, Dr. Seward is actually like a lover of Lucy.
Yep.
In this one, he's not that, but he is the main doctor of the insane asylum where Renfield lives, right? And there's a scene where he's basically interviewing Renfield to like see if he's crazy or not. And it's like not that funny a scene, but like they do go to such
almost great.
It's almost great. They go to such great lengths to just show the character of Renfield just like eating any fucking bug that is around him.
And then it did feel very Steam Hams, if you're familiar with the meme. Meme. It felt like very adjacent to that because every time he would eat a bug, Seward would be like,
"You just ate a bug.
You just ate a bug." No, sir. I was this thing.
Also, it bears mentioning that Renfield is basically giving like gay Carrie Elwes from the Princess Bride. He just felt like that's the vibe that he gave me. And I loved him. Like specifically when he was a crazy guy. Loved him. I thought he was so good. He was really funny.
Goofy guy.
Yeah. Also, it is funny to mention. No, I guess we can mention that later. Never mind. We'll come back to the reference to the 1992 Bram Stoker Dracula. Yeah. But yeah, so there's just a funny bit where like Renfield just eats increasingly larger bugs. Like first it's just a fly, and then what's like the second one? Because I know there's a grasshopper. There's a spider. Oh, it dangles like the fakest spider you've ever seen right in front of his face, and he just grabs it, eats it, and then he like dives under the table to get a grasshopper, and then like the leg is sticking out of his mouth, and it's almost funny. I think it's because I enjoyed Renfield a lot that I enjoyed this bit.
Yeah, I did like this bit more than
silly ridiculous. Derek, we do need to mention though, there is a very bizarre character choice for Dr. Seward here. And he says this several times in the movie. His main method of treatment is give them an enema.
Give them an enema.
Give that man an enema.
Wait. Give him an enema.
He's like, lock him up and give him an enema. Wait. Give him an enema, then lock him up. What? What is the point of this? Why is he so goddamn obsessed with enemas? I can't remember if I included it in the trivia. I don't think I did. There is something about how in the original Dracula, his main situation is like, oh, let's give them like laudanum instead to help them for their situation. And there is some connection between both laudanum and enemas being common treatments for something. I can't remember it off the top of my head. So I was like, it's not completely ridiculous, but I think it still is.
Can I? So I just looked up something.
Yeah, what's up?
I was looking up if
Tell me you knew what an enema was.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Squirting water up your butt.
Yeah.
I for anyone who didn't know.
Yeah.
I had to look up if enemas were ever used in psychiatry.
Sure.
Because
this is a psychiatric like asylum, right? What you got for me? What you got?
So you know how Google shows you people also ask like the more commonly asked questions.
Sometimes those are wild.
I think it has to be like
point A to point B.
I think it has to be like thousands of searches. For
of course, for it to show up on this page. So that means lots of people are looking at this up.
I'm just going to read a couple of these.
Please.
What are therapeutic enemas? That's fine.
Okay.
Why do enemas feel so good?
Google, why does this feel good?
No, there's more. Who should avoid enemas? What are the 3 types of enemas? Can I do enema for fun?
Just want to dabble in it. You know, I had a buddy who did it for therapy, but like I thought it'd be kind of fun.
Can I do it for fun?
That'd be kind of cool.
And then the final, what is the stuff that comes out after an enema?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't get past the whole why does an enema feel good? Like imagine going to Google, be like, Google, I rubbed my pants for a while and it feels good. Why did this happen?
I would read you the AI overview of why it feels so good, but I don't want to.
No. I don't really want to know. Nor do I need AI to tell me why it's feeling good. I can assume. I can use my human brain, put it together.
That's enough enema Googling for me today.
So back to Dracula. We know now that Lucy is kind of smitten with Dracula, and he's kind of picked her as his first victim.
Yeah.
And he basically he's already got a little bit of a grasp on her mind, and so he comes to her in the night, and he sneaks into her room, and he basically bites into her neck. She's starting to become a vampire. There's like a stupid bit where he's like turns into a bat.
Stupid bite.
And that he turns into a bat, flies towards her window. She closes it because she gets cold in the middle of the night, and then he smashes his face right into it and like kind of slides down it. Again, like stupid humor.
I don't know. I kind of liked that bit. It was more, I don't know, the way it was presented.
Yeah.
I think it was because of the shitty 3D modeling of Leslie Nielsen's face
because
on
there
a
is
bat.
a whole, you see him on screen go from like arms out holding his cape Dracula transformed into a bat with the head of Leslie Nielsen.
Looked weird.
Looked very
even
weird.
for 1995.
Yes.
It looked weird.
Yeah, 95 for sure. I think that's a funny thing we always talk about where people are like, oh, well, for the time period, the CGI wasn't that great, but that's to be expected. Guys, Jurassic Park came out in like the 80s.
Yeah, man.
And that is still fantastic use of CGI.
Absolutely.
We can't say that anymore.
No.
Sometimes CGI is just bad, like it was in this movie.
It's true.
But so now basically everyone's concerned about Lucy's acting really strange. She's looking very pale. She's got these weird puncture marks on her. So in comes Van Helsing, Professor Abraham Van Helsing, played by none other than Mel Brooks himself. Which it really feels like, I can't tell if it's just the way he played it and really leaned into it, or if he wrote himself as like one of the more interesting characters of the movie.
He absolutely wrote himself as the most interesting.
It does feel like a Lin-Manuel Miranda kind of situation where just like self-insert in like one of the best roles in the movie.
I'm Van Helsing. That sounded like I don't know, like emo rock. That didn't sound like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It's me, Van Helsing. You gotta rip her apart and put a stake through the heart. Oh.
Hey, pretty good.
That's terrible.
Pretty good.
We need a rap-style Dracula musical now.
It's me, Renfield, and I like to eat bugs. I look around. Oh, under the rug. I'll grab it. I'll eat it. I'll put it in my mouth, and then I'll be in the... No, I stopped.
Almost went somewhere. You almost had something.
But I didn't like it.
But yeah, so Mel Brooks as Van Helsing is an awfully ridiculous, but often entertaining, rendition of Van Helsing.
Yeah.
And he basically, comes in to save the day. He basically is like, oh, what you have here is a case of a vampire. And so basically he's the one who introduces the idea of a vampire to everybody in this story that does not know what the hell a vampire is in the first place. So then he starts using the typical, we need silver crosses. We need lots and lots of garlic all over the place. And those do work. I was curious if it was going to do one of those easy tropes in vampire movies where they're like, that shit doesn't work.
I actually liked this bit. He opens the door.
Dracula comes in. Yeah.
He opens the door to all the garlic and goes, "Oh, garlic," and then just closes the door and leaves.
He kind of makes a stink face, it smells really bad.
Ooh.
So it doesn't seem like it's something that actually repels him in a supernatural sense. He just fucking hates the smell of it, which is
actually
funny.
pretty great.
I think it's pretty good, right?
Has the part with Van Helsing in the school happened yet?
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny.
It was our introduction to Van Helsing's character, right? He's in a room, teaching a whole classroom full of students.
Yeah.
And he's just digging into this body, which they don't show, but you do hear the sound effects of, him using his hands, slicing up this, cadaver and, digging out their guts and stuff. And progressively, more and more of the students pass out. And he kind of told them they were going to.
Yeah. I know what they were going for.
I don't either, really.
It was like, look at this man performing an autopsy.
Yeah.
And look at how many people are grossed out by it. Haha.
Yeah, like that's kind of, there's this like weird like machismo vibe in the room where everyone's like, no, I can take it, I can stomach it. I'm a tough guy. I can see like and listen to like the sounds of this because they're all students here to learn about this stuff, right? But then like slowly he starts to do more and more, and then like is actually deliberately trying to make some of them pass out.
Yeah.
Like I think at one point he literally takes a hammer, smashes the head, which you don't see, but you hear it. You smash it, then he takes the brain and just shoves it in some dude's face until he passes out. Like that's the finale of it all.
I didn't laugh.
No. And then he has like his assistant walk in the room, and at first she's like, oh, all of the men are passed out. She's like, 10 out of 10, good job. He's like, I still got it. Like, I don't know.
You're laughing more now than you did during this moment.
That's the thing, like, because it is a ridiculous thing, not because it was funny, but because it's just like, what are we doing? What's the point?
I don't know.
No.
There were a lot of those moments in this movie that we've kind of glossed over that were just kind of like, I kind of see what you were doing there, but also why?
Yeah. But so what happens like later on now is Jonathan Harker's not having an incredible time believing that it's actually a vampire. Like he's kind of having a hard time like being swayed into this. So what happens is he is out at Lucy's grave at night and she comes up. No, is it her grave? Has she died yet? What happened? When did she die?
Well, yeah, so he gets... Dracula gets Renfield to go and get her out of the bedroom with the garlic.
That's
and then he
right.
bites her.
Yes.
And then she turns into a vampire.
That's right.
And then they
so they
try to
believe
kill
she's
her.
dead. That's
Yeah.
right. Because he sucks enough of her blood that when they find her, they're like, oh, she's dead. So they lay her to rest.
So then they put her in the coffin, and then she comes back to life, and she eats some people.
And she tries to seduce Jonathan Harker. She's like, it's always been you and me. And he's like, he's not having it.
No.
He's a lover man. Lover boy. He loves his wife.
Yeah. He was gonna go for it.
I think maybe he was about to because, like, at first he's very resistant to it. He's like, "No, I'm engaged to Mina. We can't do this, please." Yeah. He's like, "Lucy, I'm British," and she goes, "So are these," and just pushes her boobs up into his face.
We have skipped over a lot of boob content. I must bring that up.
There is one scene where we see Dracula's brides, the famous brides that he has.
Oh my god, they were like humping the beds.
They're just like completely aroused, moaning the whole time. They were trying to seduce like Renfield before they like probably ate him, I think. I don't know. And then they get shooed out of the room, and that's all you see of the brides. They were just entirely eye candy, 100%. But Van Helsing comes in, tries to save the day, and they scare away Lucy, so she goes back to her coffin. And then Van Helsing is like, okay, the only for sure way to kill a vampire is to put a stake through the heart, cut off the head, right?
I actually liked this bit.
Yes.
I actually thought this bit was pretty good.
Because of the sincerity of it.
Yes.
Because what happens is Dracula goes, okay, you should be the one to do this.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, yes, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling him Dracula. Van Helsing comes in, he's like, take this stake, take this hammer, drive it through her heart. You know, it's like, you need to be the one that does this. Because for some reason, it has to be someone that loved her.
Yeah.
And even Jonathan's like, I only liked her.
I don't think he said that because it's true. I think he said that because he didn't want to be the one to get bloody.
Absolutely. Because then Van Helsing goes and hides behind a wall.
Yep.
to let Jonathan Harker do this on his own.
And then he stabs her right through the heart, and she sprays blood all over the place.
A lot of blood. We're talking gallons and gallons of blood.
This reminds me, I saw a production of Dracula on stage down at the Shakespearean Festival a few years ago. And in this moment, well, not this moment, but when Dracula gets a stake through the heart towards the end of the play, spoilers, they had a little mechanism that was used to spray blood out on stage.
It's always so fun seeing like blood on stage like that.
It misfired the night that we were there and shot into the ceiling and was dripping from the ceiling.
It propelled that hard?
From the rest of the show. It was dripping from the ceiling. Full body laughter from the audience. And the actor playing Van Helsing who did the stake, even like looked shocked. He was like, oh, that's so much blood. It was like dripping from the ceiling. It was insane.
That's so funny. But yeah, basically Jonathan Harker gets absolutely covered in the blood. And it's like such a long sequence. And it is to the point where you as the viewer are like, did this actor know this was going to happen?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like maybe they told him she's going to spray some blood up and that's what's going to happen. I don't think they told him what lengths they went to.
I don't know if they knew how much blood was going to come out of that. It was insane.
And Mel Brooks Van Helsing keeps coming back into the room. He's like, do it again.
Give her one more.
One more. And then again, stabs her again and just even more covered.
It really, really felt like one of those improv bits where
Yes.
you keep trying to get somebody to do something because you think it's funny and they're in pain.
And especially like him as the director egging him
Yes.
on like that. It kind of feels like we'll just go until he'll stop. Honestly, we'll see how far we can push him. Because eventually he does give him a line where he's like, she's not dead. And she's like, she's bled enough. Like as he's wiping it out of his eyeball.
It felt very sincere. That bit was very funny.
I liked it a lot. Also, like way more blood than I was expecting.
so much more.
So yeah, that was honestly it was another one of the highlight moments of the movie.
For sure.
While this is going on, Dracula's been busy trying to get Mina Harker.
Yeah.
While Jonathan Harker's out of the house. And this is another bit of like the stupid like slapstick mind control bit where like Mina has like an attendant in her room with her.
Yeah.
And Dracula's trying to mind control Mina to come to the door, but like he keeps accidentally getting interference with the servants in front of him, so she starts listening to him. So there's a whole bit of like, okay, you stand up. No, you stand up. No, you sit down. Okay, now you stand up. Okay, now both you go to bed, you come to the window, and then they like run into each other in the middle of it. Like it's so dumb.
Okay, but it would have been funny, but that was like the one bit of marketing materials they used for the movie. Was
they used that
scene.
bit.
They knew that bit was funny, so they're like, let's overuse it.
Yes.
And I don't know.
And I think that's something they showed a lot of that part in the trailer.
Yeah.
So like when I came to it in the movie, it wasn't that entertaining. I was like, well, okay, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to do a silly little, swap them up. He does eventually get Mina though and does bite into her neck. So now she is also turning into a vampire. Uh-oh, what are we going to do? So now it is at this point that they're like, okay, now we know Dracula is the vampire. We need to kill him. So they're like trying to devise a plan to reveal his secret identity. There's like a couple sequences of like they try to like corner him at like a ball, like this festive event where there's like a lot of people dancing and dressed up and stuff. It is kind of fun because what they do is like, what we know about vampires is they have no reflection. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get the world's largest fucking mirror, put it in this ballroom, and cover it with a curtain, and then while he's dancing in the middle of the ballroom, we're just gonna lift it up, and then everyone's gonna see he's a vampire. And it's funny because all they do basically is they like do some weird kind of effects where you basically just see him dancing with Mina, but it's just her being swung and flung all through the air,
which was actually kind of fun.
It was fun. I liked it.
It did feel, this was like one of the more Naked Gun feeling moments in the movie,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it was
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
he's been replaced with a double, and that
Yes.
double is like a crazy good
Yes.
dancer.
There is one funny I have to mention though at this ballroom scene because they haven't like confronted him yet. He walks into the place and there's this woman, this servant there's like, oh, can I take your coat? He's like, my coat, no, but my hat, yes.
And he takes off his hair.
He's wearing a fucking wig hairpiece that looks like the Coppola, the Bram Stoker's Dracula from '92, which came out 3 years before this, which is like, you know, the kind of like almost like heart shaped kind of weird. It is an odd style for the hair, but it has become iconic.
It looks like a Muppet.
It does kind of look like a Muppet. But yeah, he takes off this hairpiece, and then underneath it, he has his normal, just Leslie Nielsen hair, which is really funny.
That was great.
There's also, can we talk about, there is one sequence that I completely forgot about.
Uh-oh.
There's a bit where Dracula drinks Lucy's blood, and he has a dream where he believes it has cured him.
Oh my God, I forgot about this.
He like rises from his coffin. It's daylight. He's like, hold on. Have I been cured? Oh, let's go. And then he goes for a stroll out into the park for a day.
And I was tricked.
No, it goes a long time before it
goes
does
a
the
while.
switcheroo and like, oh, it was a dream the whole time.
Kind of dumb.
It was really
Kinda liked
kind of
it.
dumb.
Kinda liked it.
Yeah. The sets were fun for that. They had everybody,
Yeah.
it looked like a painting the way everybody was set in it in their colorful costumes
Yeah.
and stuff. But he was like, wow, what a beautiful day out in the daylight. And then Renfield comes up, he's like, Master, no, you mustn't be in the daylight. Then he starts smoking and then he wakes up. He's like, oh, I was having a daymare. I think it was all for the sake of the pun. To say daymare instead of nightmare.
Not gonna lie, dude. I would have liked that bit so much more without the daymare comment.
Really?
That ruined it for me.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Yep.
The rest of it was great.
Yeah, really, really strange there. But so basically, they what happens from here? They basically
It's
they know
basically the end of the movie.
They know Dracula is the vampire. They trap him at this like abandoned church, and they try to like as he's trying to make Mina his bride. They break down the door, and then there's like kind of a half fight sequence here, and basically they discover there's sunlight coming through the ceiling.
Yep.
And this is the funny part. Actually, they try to use the sunlight to kill him. Instead, they can't catch him because he turns into a bat. He goes like up into the rafters. And then there's this one panel of the ceiling that has gone away. Renfield shows up. He's like, Master, I found a way to escape. And then just completely obliterates him
kills
with
him.
the sunlight. It's just silly. It's just so silly. So
Yeah.
he's just inadvertently killed by Renfield.
Okay. I think I would have actually liked that bit. But at this point in the movie, I was kind of tired of the comedy.
Yeah.
Like it was just trying so hard, and I wanted it to be funny.
There's a certain point in the movie where it just kind of feels dry. Like I just felt kind of numb to a lot of it.
The first third, I was stoked.
I was on board.
I was Bram stoked.
I was Bram stoked.
I was like, this is great. That's a great episode title. Bram stoked Dracula. That was stupid. But like
more like Bram Stoker. Listen. Don't give me that look. Don't give me those eyes, Derek. It was a little blue. We're talking about blue comedy.
The first third of this movie was like actually killing me. Like I was laughing quite a bit.
Absolutely.
But then
it was really working.
It just stopped.
And it just kind of stopped working. I feel like a huge issue with it was that it didn't, like the balance was offset. It was not enough of a comedy, but also not enough of like a straight up classic horror homage kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough of either or that I felt like unsatisfied on both ends.
Absolutely.
Like none of it. Like I was just kind of left feeling kind of like, yeah.
Bleh.
But yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. Dracula shrivels up in the sunlight in this ashen pile in the shape of a bat, and then Renfield scoops him up and puts him back into his coffin. And then, it's pretty much, that's the end of the movie.
There was this
good triumphs.
Yeah, there was this running bit throughout the whole movie where Van Helsing would try to take the last word of a sent conversation.
Him and Dracula would constantly be in arguments with each other, and in like Moldovan,
which is a made-up language.
Yes,
I did look it up, and all of the words they're saying are complete gibberish made up by Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
But there's a specific there's specific times where they would like have a conversation, and then one of them would leave and then come back to say the final word. And so
literally to the point where like Mel Brooks opens the door after Dracula leaves to shout something, and then Dracula walks past a window and says it again. Like they're always trying to get the last word on each other.
On paper, great joke.
Funny bit.
Funny bit.
To have them have that annoying banter.
I can't explain to you why that didn't work.
No.
So
what is the last thing that happens in this movie?
So Dracula's dead. Van Helsing says the final word. It's like a swear word at him. And then the credits roll. At the end of the credits, Dracula does pop in and say one final word.
One more thing. At the very end of the credits has to get that last word in there, giving him the true final word.
Yeah.
And that's Dracula Dead and Loving it. In a nutshell,
Dead and being mid about it.
I feel kind of bad. I feel like I'm not quite as versed in the story of Dracula as I want to be.
Yeah, I don't know why
I find myself more confused about things. I know Dracula well enough.
I also know it pretty well.
I don't know why I'm confused on these
Actually,
things.
Big fan of Dracula.
I think maybe it's also because we're fresh off of seeing this movie, which does kind of take liberties with certain things in it.
And the last two Dracula style things I've seen are Nosferatu and Dracula Dead and Loving It, which are both bastardizations of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, exactly, of the original there. But
I think I'm going to spend tonight watching Bomb Strokers.
Bomb Strokers, Dracula, Ganga, Bonanza.
That's the porn version.
So let's talk about our expectations, shall we?
Yeah.
I said the critics are wrong. I think an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes is definitely too low.
It is too low.
I think it is way too low.
100%.
I think the audience score is probably closer to what it actually is.
I think 49.50.
49.50 I would say is a fair... Because that's kind of how I feel. I feel a little like middle of the road here after watching this movie. I don't think it is like deplorably bad.
No.
Especially like some of those reviewers being like, there's not a single joke in this movie. Like I had fun. There were funny bits.
But yeah, we were dissecting the movie, right? That's our job as reviewers.
Yes.
Like we dissect the movie, and it may seem like we didn't like it, but I honestly don't regret watching it.
No, yeah.
I really do think that this is like a 50% movie. Will I recommend it to people as a Leslie Nielsen or vampire movie? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would say if I'm going to recommend a Leslie Nielsen movie, I'm going to say go watch Airplane.
Well, yeah, if we're just like any Leslie Nielsen
Gun.
movie, this would not be my first
If I'm going to say a Dracula movie, I'm going to say like Bram Stoker's Dracula
Watch something
or
else.
Interview with the Vampires.
But I think if it's a person I know who enjoys both of these things,
I would say
you like the Mel Brooks shtick, you like the Leslie Nielsen movies.
Go check it out.
If you need a new like vampire movie, check it out. You know,
and that's where I was going with that. I was just saying like on either side, definitely not. Both combined, it's the only thing that exists.
Yep.
So yes, I will say watch it.
But yeah.
Very Mel Brooks positive. So much. I actually think kind of more towards the negative side of it, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
I actually think it was too much Mel Brooks. I think I needed less Mel Brooks, more Leslie Nielsen.
Yep, exactly. More Naked Gun vibes. I said it was going to have wonderful, corny Halloween vibes, and actually it sticks pretty faithfully to like vampire movie vibes, which I really liked. I liked that it's set within that world, and then silly, kooky stuff happened within that.
I do actually think that's kind of where the movie struggled. Now that I'm like looking back at it,
That's what I'm saying. He was trying to be both things at
It
once.
was.
Like a faithful vampire adaptation, then also the slapstick comedy kind of thing.
I really feel like if they just made a true vampire movie that just happened to have someone kooky like Leslie Nielsen
Yeah.
as Dracula, that would have been fucking funny.
I also feel like it would have benefited. I think something about the fact that Young Frankenstein works so much is that it is, while paying several different homages to different Frankenstein stories, it is like an original Frankenstein tale, right?
That's true.
It's a new story.
That's
so I feel
true.
like this movie would have been better if it's not, we're just retelling Dracula
Yeah.
beat for beat. If it was like a new, like we said at the beginning, right? Like
Yeah, the
Leslie
Dracula-
Nielsen going through life as Dracula.
that was so funny.
That would have been so good.
That would have been so funny. And like having like Van Helsing be like an actual doctor down the street, like
Yeah.
who keeps getting patients that have been bitten, and he's like, "What the fuck is
What is
going
happening?
on?" And
What is
then
going on?
Just like he keeps meeting Dracula at the supermarket,
Yeah,
and not
yeah.
paying attention to the fact that he's wearing this crazy
What if
clothes.
they're like good buddies, you know?
Yeah.
Like they see each other, they say hey across the street. It's like, well, it couldn't be Dracula. That's my friend.
Then the reveal at the end that he's
Yeah.
a fan. But that like this is good.
We're writing like this could be
This could
something,
be
you know,
funny.
and it could still work with Leslie Nielsen at the front of it, you know, like that could still work with him as the Dracula. But I do think, like we're talking about, that is something that is to his detriment. I feel like had they just made a new original Dracula story and just gone their own way with it, it could have been pretty funny.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. Too much trying to have Leslie Nielsen be funny when he's funny on his own. It didn't happen quite as much as I thought it would, but it basically every time Leslie Nielsen was on screen, I felt like he was reading jokes.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like he was just being himself. I felt like he was just reading jokes.
You're so right about the fact that like something in his performance feels a little jaded, kind of going
was
through the
tired.
motions. Like he's just like, it's a paycheck.
He got put in a box.
Yeah.
After Naked Gun,
That
he
is
got put
true.
in a box. And he couldn't get out of that box. He couldn't get out of the fart machine.
Yeah.
So maybe at this point, he literally was.
Leslie Nielsen, Stuck in the Fart Machine, a biography about the life and troubles of Leslie Nielsen.
I'd read it. I'd
Stuck
read it.
in the fart machine. It's
Stuck
like-
in the...
I can totally see like the cover for that, like him like arms up trying to like break out of this
And then
box.
it's
he's been
all
put in.
whoopee cushions.
That's good.
That is great.
I can see that.
I can too.
I said it'd be probably too silly, and Mel, you silly man.
Yeah.
Yes, it was silly, and sometimes too far.
I also feel like he was also phoning it in.
A little bit.
I could tell that this was kind of his last movie. I felt like he was just like, I have to make another movie, you know? And so he was just kind of like phoning it in.
I guess so, but I don't know. Maybe I just think Mel Brooks always pushes it up, cranks it a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not as hard as he's gone in other movies, but he was
Maybe.
definitely one of the more alive characters in the movie.
Oh, and I'm not talking
Especially
about his
him
character.
and Renfield.
I was
too.
definitely meaning like the writing.
Oh, that yes.
Like
yes.
I feel like the way the movie was written, the flow to it, I got bored, which I didn't really expect to ever
Yeah.
happen. Like no Mel Brooks movie ever has bored me.
And again, I think that is a deficit of like the fact that it's just Dracula. We know this story.
That's true.
And it's different than like Nosferatu did really good, but like they kept it interesting, you know?
Yeah.
But like this one was trying to split itself in two different ways, you know, trying to be a new comedy, but also be the same story you know
Yeah.
before, and didn't do anything new and exciting with that,
true.
you know? But yeah, so I feel like that does kind of lend itself to being a little, you kind of get bored a little bit.
Forced amount of comedy at a certain point. Yes, I do feel like the first third, like I discussed, did have like a good amount of like original ideas, and then they like ran out.
Yep.
It honestly, this was made in the 90s, so this isn't what happened, but it feels like someone used ChatGPT to come up with ideas and just threw them in the movie.
It's kind of one of those things when like you're hanging out with your buddies and you come up with like this really funny idea. We've done this a lot just on this podcast.
We've done
right?
today.
We're like, this would be a great movie. And then once you actually get down to it and try to make
Yeah.
a feature length film, it's like, we don't have as much as we thought we did.
We just had like a third.
This idea of funny Dracula doesn't actually go as far. These fangs do not sink as deep as I thought they would,
Yeah.
you know?
That's a good way to put it.
I said Leslie Nielsen will be the best part, and honestly, I feel like a lot of the other characters are what made this movie. I'm a Renfield guy, personally.
Yeah.
I liked him. Van Helsing was pretty funny.
I
there
like
were-
the enemas.
the enemas. Enema of the state, Dr. Seward.
Pretty good.
Public enema number 1, Leslie Nielsen.
Public enema number 1. I'm writing that down. That's the title.
But yeah, I do, unfortunately, not necessarily like to bash Leslie Nielsen because he's great, he's funny, love the shit he does. But yeah, there's something about felt a little phoned in. They also, something we mentioned too while we were watching it, I don't feel like we saw a lot of Dracula in it.
No, I
For
feel like
him-
he wasn't there very much.
For him being the main cell of the movie, we spent so much time with other people, which I guess is kind of how the story of Dracula goes. But like, it was weird to me how little we actually saw of him. So yeah, I would not say Leslie Nielsen was the best part of it.
No, yeah,
truly.
he it wasn't. It's sad to say that. It's sad to walk away from this movie and be like, Leslie Nielsen was wasted.
Because we came at it with some high hopes,
Really,
expecting a really good time.
Really did, and I love him dearly. I hope no one hears me talk this way and thinks I don't like him anymore.
No, Leslie Nielsen's great. He still has our love and respect.
As like one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely no fear. Oh yeah, no, I mean none at all. My only fear was that there was going to be another boob joke.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier about the other shadow bit that they did. There's just one bit where Dracula was dancing with Mina, and the shadow version of Mina and Dracula just kind of started humping for no reason. Like Dracula just kind of started humping, and it was just kind of gross.
It was like the ghost was the shadow was sexually assaulting.
That's the part where I was like, now I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this.
Yeah,
you had me at first with the funny bit of the shadow falling down the stairs.
Age well.
No, and I don't know if it
like,
ever would.
Speaking of not aging well, this is relevant. I turned on Home Improvement last night for the first time in like 15
I can't
years.
enjoy anything Tim Allen does, knowing how he is as a person.
You should turn on the first episode of Home Improvement. The first 3 minutes are him just bashing his wife.
Oh, so he's one of those literally old ball and chain.
Well, I mean, that
guys.
was like the whole bit back then. It was like he's like, your wife's gonna hate it when you pull out your drill. You know, she's gonna be like, oh, I'm screaming at you. And
there's a whole generation who like think it's so funny to just bash on the wife.
It pissed me off. I actually turned it off. I was like, I thought this would be fun.
Yeah, Derek, known lover of his wife, like coming at this.
I don't know. It was like. I don't know, and
I say in sincerity, that wasn't sarcastic.
No, of course. The next scene though, his wife walks into the room. She's like, "What are you saying on the TV about me?" And he's like, "Nothing, honey." And it's just, I don't know.
Those shows always have those little bit like, oh, I talk a lot of shit, but I do love your wife, and they have like a little bit of a cute moment.
Yeah.
But me in here, I'm like, no, you said some kind of fucked up shit.
Yeah, it's like
that's not nice.
It's the whole honeymooners thing, where it's like, why you say one more word, I'm gonna whack you all the way to the moon.
Yeah.
Stupid.
No, but my last final expectation here just says horny when it doesn't need to be. And I mean, it definitely had its moments, like we talked about with the shadow there. The women were almost exclusively set dressing for their boobs.
Absolutely.
Like 100%
There were
of the
so
time.
much boobs in this movie without being any at all.
Which is funny because there's even a moment I read in the trivia. There's like a bit that is like, someone was interviewing, I think I want to say Lucy's actress, and she didn't mind that because she like got to be in like a Mel Brooks movie. So she's like, listen, there was a respect on set, and so like that I do appreciate.
That's good.
I appreciate
love
that.
I
didn't feel objectified on set, doing it. They didn't regret doing it either.
I hope I'm not wrong about this.
Yeah,
but I've never gotten the vibe Predator from Mel Brooks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not wrong about that. I hope that is true.
And it seems to be that way based on like what we hear in interviews from like actresses who have worked on set with him. They don't seem to like hold anything against him for those.
And also he had 2 wives until one of his wives tragically passed away.
Yeah.
Like, not at the same time. He had 2 wives separately.
Yes.
At least I don't think Mel Brooks is... He's not Mormon.
Who knows?
He's Jewish. So
he's Jewish. Yeah, exactly.
If any creature design at all, it will mostly be used in comedic effect. Yeah, I mean, the bat was just so goofy. The spider was goofy. It was all goofy. The vampires, though, I kind of had issue with this.
Yeah.
It was just vampire teeth.
There's nothing to them. Because like there was even a moment or two where I was expecting maybe like a Buffy vampire kind of thing, where they have like that wrinkled brow kind of thing.
I love the Buffy vampires.
It's a
so
classic
charming.
vampire look.
But no, they like got candy bowl teeth and put them in their mouths,
That's
and that was
truly
it.
No real creature to speak of.
That's it.
But let's talk about our surprises. I made 5 notes just talking about how much I loved the sets. The sets were gorgeous. Every single one of them. I loved them.
That was a big surprise.
Costumes, like those were all so well done. So that's something I will walk away from, is like the love for the sets and how beautiful those looked.
There was a lot of craftsmanship put in there.
There were a few silly bits that did make me really laugh. Like like again, the shadow bit right at the beginning. I actually I chuckled.
I was dying.
It was good. But a lot of the time it's just the kind of like makes you roll your eyes type of funny, which is a little sad, but it was funny though. Like it did have its moments more than I thought maybe it wouldn't, right? I really came around to Renfield. Right at the top I wasn't sure about him, but something about like him as a crazed person. And I know we didn't talk much about him just because like there wasn't much to mention. He just played the character really well. He was like a crazy funny guy and did really good at that. Again, like I knew this going into it, but I was surprised at how it really was just the story of Dracula beat by beat. It didn't deviate very far from that, which I was kind of sad about. I feel like it could have stretched things a bit further and got a little more out of it for doing that.
Absolutely.
And then, like we just talked about, very little Dracula in this. Like not a lot of him at all. And I'm kind of sad, especially having the merging of worlds, Mel Brooks and Leslie Nielsen come together, and it's just like it didn't really utilize him that much.
Two worlds, one family. Mel Brooks and Leslie Nielsen. In Tarzan 2.
Escape the fart machine.
Escape the fart
What were your surprises?
Tarzan 2, Escape the fart machine. Two worlds, one fart machine.
Tarzan's learning a lot about the human world and how things work, and he's big into like fart humor. And Jane's like, I've made a mistake. This man grew up in the jungle. Why did I think he would be a sophisticated man? He loves fart
I'm
jokes.
only into dark humor.
I said dark humor, not fart humor.
Sorry, Jane. Must change Tinder profile. I'm back on fart Tinder.
Oh my god.
Finder. My surprises were it wasn't as consistently funny as I expected.
Yeah, few and far between.
But it did try. I mean, this style of funny comedy movie, it's like every minute there has to be a new bit. Every single minute, it's like joke, 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 joke. And this movie had that, but it wasn't as consistently, like, it didn't pay off. That's one thing, if you do, which you really got to see the new Naked Gun. Yeah. But there's one thing I love about the new Naked Gun was that every 45 seconds there was a joke. Yeah. And 90% of them landed. Which is really impressive.
Like, it is possible to do, because sometimes it can kind of be like an onslaught of, like, just joke after joke. I'm like, please, give me a second, right?
But I feel like when you tone them back and you have enough jokes that work on, like, a broad scale, like, you really got to see it. You got to
I'll check out Naked Gun.
You got to do it.
And so should you, dear listener.
Yes. Nope. Actually, I only want Isaac to see it.
Nobody else. We're gatekeeping the Naked Gun 2025.
I'm gatekeeping Liam Neeson. Yeah, okay. I found myself laughing and cringe more than actual humor because this movie did constantly throw jokes at you, but none of them really like stuck the landing all the time. And most of the time I found myself laughing, but not because it was funny. Like,
just because it's ridiculous.
I think I actually laughed at the humping ghost, the humping shadow, but I wasn't laughing because it was funny. I was laughing because it was shocking.
I was like, oh my God.
I was like, people laugh at this? And then it also surprised me how little actual horror there was in this. And obviously I expected no horror.
Right, yeah.
But with sets like this, I expected at least something.
I mean, like, I could conceivably see a kid going to watch Young Frankenstein and finding things to actually be scared about.
Absolutely.
Like, I could see that being a thing.
And I was expecting another one of those.
Not the case here. Not the case here for sure.
All right.
But that was all your surprises?
Yep.
All right, so verdicts here. I'm going to say that was charmable. This is a new one for us here on That Was Horrible. I'm like, it's so, like, it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. Certainly not the worst, right? But I feel like it's somewhere in the middle where, like, Mel Brooks will always, and maybe it's just like a nostalgic thing, but there's a bit of charm here for like the players that were in play here, right? While I disagree with a lot of the harsh criticisms of this movie, I can understand why people think it definitely was sucked dry, you know, no pun intended, no pun fully intended. There was just a constant feeling of though something was missing, like something just wasn't working for me. It wasn't enough of a straight Dracula movie and also not enough of a slapstick comedy either. It was stuck in a strange limbo between the two, which just kind of made it feel like you were kind of going through the motions that we're all familiar with in an old story like Dracula that we all know, right? But I saying all of that, I do think there were some genuinely funny bits, and the costumes and sets were to die for. So I'd say it's worth taking a bite out of this Dracula spoof for the holiday season. If you're a fan of this kind of movie, I'd say you probably find something to enjoy.
Dracula Dead and Loving It was a cute time. It was charmable. That was charmable. I'll always love Mel Brooks, and him and Leslie Nielsen should have been a slam dunk, but it just mostly worked. Leaning towards not mostly, but it did mostly work. I had a good time overall. It does not deserve the bad reviews, but maybe don't take a trip to this Abbey unless you want a good Leslie Nielsen and Mel Brooks romp. It's my doorbell.
It is me, Count Trivia. Yes, I came to the front of your house and I saw that there was a doorbell and I rang on it and it played that song. Yeah. Did you guys know that's actually a real thing?
That is actually
I walked up to Derek's house today. I rang the ring doorbell or something like that, and it played the
shout out.
It's like toccata in fugue, like
it's close.
What is it? Okay, so you don't know either. The stereotypical like Dracula song. Yeah, exactly that. But anyway, so yes, that played on the they're a little together. Yes, the toccata and the That Was Horrible theme song. We can make a remix here, Derek. I'm a DJ on the weekends. Did you know?
Boom, 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 boom. boom, boom.
It's almost giving a little bit of like goosebumps, like doom, 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 doom.
Okay,
doom,
this is
doo. Anyway, I'm a vampire, and here it is a vampire episode, and take your trivia, please.
Love you.
I'm very happy that was your doorbell sound effect. It made me very happy walking into the house today. Trivia today. The character of the Romani woman, her name was Madame Uspenskaya, was actually
Madame
portrayed.
Uspenskaya.
Yeah, of course. The one that did the throat wiggle thing, so she sounded all spooky, was actually portrayed by Mel Brooks' wife, actress Anne Bancroft. She was named after Maria Uspenskaya, who played the character of Maleva in both The Wolfman 1941 and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman in 1943. That kind of fun. When Mel Brooks and the rest of the filmmakers gathered together for the first time to discuss the making of the movie, only one early question was, should the picture be made in black and white? Mainly because Brooks' earlier film, Young Frankenstein in 1974, was made in black and white to give it like the movie of the old Universal feel, right? The idea was dropped mainly because, as Steve Haberman said in an audio commentary of the film on DVD, a lot of the great Dracula movies were color, specifically the Hammer films starring Christopher Lee, right?
Yeah.
And Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula 1992. So they're like, a lot of iconic Dracula movies are in color. So we're not going to do the black and white thing again, even though the original 1931 Dracula was in black and white.
Interesting.
Which I can actually kind of respect. And I like the fact that there was a conversation about that.
Right.
Because Young Frankenstein was in black and white, right? The basic concept for this movie's male and female characters, as stated on the film's audio commentary, is that all the men would be idiots and all the women would be beautiful. That was the main idea for all of the men and women in this movie.
Classic.
Castle Rock Entertainment's original plan was to premiere this film in October 1995 in order to compete with the film Vampire in Brooklyn 1995 during the Halloween season. However, the principal photography of Dracula Dead and Loving It lasted until September, so it was released in December. So this is actually a Christmas time movie.
Okay.
In Mel Brooks' biography, it was stated that Halloween might have been a better time to release the movie. And yeah I would also agree. It's probably Christmas time, probably not the time.
Probably would have done a little bit better.
I think so too. When Dracula first bites Lucy, the vampire covers her with his cloak before he bites her, which is an homage to Christopher Lee's portrayal of the Dracula character. Because that's the kind of thing, before he bites a person, he like kind of does this swooping motion and covers them so you don't actually see the actual biting in it.
Yeah.
You know, Hammer horror films are strange. Kelsey Grammer was considered to play Dracula before Leslie Nielsen was even cast.
Crazy.
And apparently there was another bit where I want to say it was either Renfield or Jonathan Harker. Both of them also think, they say in like an interview at some point, they're like, yeah, Kelsey Grammer almost had my part. So Kelsey Grammer was considered for multiple roles in this movie.
And then didn't end up in the movie.
And just didn't end up in it. And my final bit of trivia here is for the scene in which Harker puts a stake in Lucy's heart, Mel Brooks didn't tell Steven Weber that he would be covered in 200 gallons of blood, so his reaction would appear natural.
So it was genuine.
This led to the ad-lib, "She's dead enough." Like, that was not scripted. He was not supposed to be covered in that much blood. It was purely Mel Brooks fucking with it.
That's hilarious.
And I love that.
I love
that so much.
That's fun.
So that is all of it that we have here for Dracula Dead and Loving.
Yeah.
Now, Derek, we have to have a conversation on podcast, as we forgot to have this off podcast here. We don't have a next movie selected right now.
Yeah, we don't. But we
And
also...
I think that's okay for the current state of where we're at right now.
It is.
Because we are in baby imminent territory.
Baby imminent.
Yes, we're baby imminent territory here, where Derek is going to go be a father for a little bit, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we're trying to make as many episodes whenever we have the time before baby happens, right? So like that's the current state of our podcast.
I think an emphasis is going to be put on like the not so horrible and maybe some gaming content.
Yes. So that's kind of our idea right now, is like the next things is like, you know, go see, because there's a lot of good horror movies that are coming out recently that we should discuss. And I miss the not so horribles.
Me too. We're going to do a few
talking
more
about those ones.
So there's a chance that this is our last mainline episode for the rest of the year, but we'll come back strong with episode 100, episode 98, 99, and 900. We're 3 away. We've got some big plans for 100. Don't worry though, we're not going anywhere. We'll definitely give you some
train.
Yeah, we'll get you some not so horribles, and we'll get you some.
So the plan is, hopefully, if we can manage it, we'll get some content. So while parenting needs to be, you know, at the front of the mind, we hopefully will have some content to be released in the interim. And if we can't, that's okay. We will still come back. Yeah. We won't be gone forever. But
and we have over 100 episodes of this little shindig.
Lots of content for you to go and listen to. But thank you for sticking with us.
Thank you.
While it took us a second to get another episode, our guest episodes that were wonderful. wonderful. Thank you for all of that. We're going to keep making stuff for you. So we don't know what our next movie is. We'll figure that out soon.
You will find out when we
You will find out when we find out. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
We should we? It's been a minute, Derek. Should we talk about the Garfield comic of the day?
Yes, we can.
We're recording this on Saturday, October 18th. We've got a lovely, simple 3-panel comic here. And while Derek is pulling it up, I'll just read it here. Garfield in the Thought Bubble says, how to create a comfortable environment for your cat. Make sure food and water are easily accessible, and convert your dining room into an all-you-can-eat buffet. Easy peasy.
I just have a knee-jerk reaction to this, if that's okay.
Yeah, what's yours?
I think that it's kind of beautiful because from the minds of a cat, you can look at a room and transform it into so many different things.
Yes.
To a cat, an all-you-can-eat buffet is a couple bowls of food.
That is true.
Maybe a lasagna.
Size-wise, it could be, like just to us a trivial amount of food.
Exactly. Him, it's like all you can eat. Oh, man, that's just a couple bowls of food.
Listen, I know all you can eat seems like a bottomless amount of food, but truly, a cat's got a little tummy.
Bitty
One
tummy.
tray of lasagna is good enough to tide over a Garfield. Well, maybe not a Garfield.
No, a Garfield's
but
like
your average
25
cat.
trays of lasagna, but
Yeah,
like a normal cat.
But I don't know. I feel like that's probably a fine place to lay that.
can
Just
just
like
leave it.
think about that's a good place to leave
Perspective.
it. Respect, perspective.
I did say perspective. You heard respect.
I did, and then I came back around
perspective
to it.
is also great.
Anyway, if you respect our perspectives, go follow us on
Nice.
all of our social medias, please. Also, if you feel so inclined, drop a review if you've listened to a couple episodes here. It takes. I've done that recently too, where I'm like, I like this thing. I'm just gonna go quickly give it a little. It takes notes. You don't have to sit and type out a whole. I like this podcast
you
because they
just
talk
click
about
a
this
star
stuff.
rating.
And they stop talking so much about Garfield, and I like the podcast again.
I had someone tell me that.
Yeah, it's very. It's a fair judgment.
Listen,
I get that.
Yeah, we went through our Garfield era. We're like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We go through different eras.
We're gonna
we
go
have
through
our
the era store.
We have our first era, which is figuring things out.
Then we became heavily a character podcast.
And then we were strictly
Yes.
I would argue strictly a characters podcast. Then we were like a horror review podcast for a little while.
And then Garfield.
And then we were a Garfield podcast.
We saw the Messiah with Garfield.
Yeah. And now I would say that we're just a horror review podcast.
Which I love, and I like
With
that
the occasional character.
with a little bit of Garfield, spiced
Garfield
in there.
and characters will never leave.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I'm never gonna leave.
Garfield will always be with you.
Don't forget about me. I don't remember.
Science
anybody
Jim,
else.
his name?
Yeah, Science Jim. No, I the other guy.
I thought you forgot his name for a second.
Bilbo Bartender.
Bilbo Bartender.
It's
Yeah,
also-
we've gone through several different characters throughout this. Sometimes I go and listen to old episodes. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. This character existed.
I used to make boxes.
Yeah.
For everyone.
High Horse Palomino, him as well. But anyway, so if you feel so inclined, please go and leave us a review, whatever seems fair to you. Preferably a 5-star one if you feel so inclined.
If it's less than that, probably just go review someone else.
Yeah, it's fine. If you have like a really shitty review, maybe go just take that somewhere else, please. But we are on all of the social medias. We are on Instagram at _was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, YouTube at That Was Horrible, and we are on TikTok at That Was Horrible.
Yeah.
I've been a busy guy as of late, and now I have a lot more free time and not so busy. So
Yeah,
I
you do.
would love to be putting more onto those social medias.
Yeah.
Because I'm our main dude behind all of that stuff. So hopefully I have some time to put some more content up on that.
Yeah, we need to get more shorts out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because
we got a lot of recorded
I have a
content.
lot of recorded things that I just need to edit and put together.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
so
That's
hopefully
fine.
I'll get around to that. But thank you so much. I love you all. I love getting to do this. I love getting together
So much
with
fun.
Derek
Yeah,
to
dude.
record another one of these. It's been a lot of fun.
It's always fun to see how far we've come. It's like we're coming up
Absolutely.
on 3 years.
That's crazy.
3 years now. of this.
And we're still going strong.
Yeah, we are.
So thank you all very much. Have a happy Halloween.
Yeah, enjoy Halloween
This
this
is our
week.
Halloween episode, basically. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like we leaned into that much. But
Ooh.
yeah, have a good time. Have a safe time. As always, Garfield be with you.
Stay spooky.
Goodbye.